Hello, it's Robert Miner with Dynamic Traders Group with today's DT Daily 3-minute update and trade strategy. We do a short video every day for our YouTube subscribers, Twitter followers, and our members on our Traders Resource page on our website at dynamictraders.com to give you a trade idea that's coming up in a specific trade strategy in the days ahead. Even if you don't trade the market that we talk about in these videos, they will be educational and you can apply to other markets and other time frames. Okay, let's get started and take a look at a trade setup that's coming up here real shortly. Today's setup we're going to be talking about is for a euro trade, and of course you can use it just inversely for a dollar position, and it could be for a major position and a major trend. And before we get started, I just want to remind you I actually do trade. Here's this year so far in this Robbins World Cup Championship of Forex trading. I'm number one just the first 4 months up until May 1st this year. I'm up 56.5%. And last year in their Forex trading contest I was up 70.4%. Number three of the ones that participated in this contest, and then in the interest rate and futures I was number one with 86.5%. That was their 6-month contest that they had from June 1st through November 30th. So I trade all kinds of markets, and I usually trade kind of what we call daily or weekly trends. That would mean a trend that's going to last for a few days to a few weeks. So I'm not a day trader, not intentionally anyway. Okay, let's get started with taking a look at this euro position and a probable trade coming up in just the next few days. A lot of the analysis and trade strategies I do are based on the Elliott wave position of the market, which helps to define if a market's in a trend or a counter trend, and if it's near the expiration of that trend or counter trend. Well, here's 60-minute data of the euro coming off the low from about a week or so ago on April 26th into just yesterday's high. And boy, if that's just almost a textbook 5-wave advance into yesterday's high on this 60-minute data, it implies that the higher time frame trend is bullish, and that after we have a correction, the euro is going to continue in a bull trend. So as long as the euro is not traded below the April 26th low, we want to identify if it's in a position to have completed a correction. Well, if we just look at this data alone, we can look at potentially an A and a B and a C. And what would be probably the maximum on the downside before we completed a correction? Well, here's a 78.6% retracement, 100% alternate price projection of what I've got labeled a wave A. That would be probably the maximum downside before we completed a corrective low. And any trade above today's high, which I got labeled a wave B, indicates that the correction is over and the bull trend will continue. So we want to focus all of our attention on identifying if a market's in a position to complete a corrective low, so we can position on the long side with very minimal capital exposure and potential a significant gain. It may not continue the bull trend, but we want to identify a specific trade setup with minimal capital exposure. Let's go to the daily data here. And first of all, we can look at this daily data, and what I've marked off is all the FOMC announcements over the past year. And every time there's been an announcement within one trading day, other than one, there's one exception, it was 2 trading days. Otherwise, either on the exact day or one trading day, the euro has been sideways to down for at least 4 days following the announcement day. So boy, we had the probable wave 5 advance into yesterday, and that was the FOMC announcement. More than likely we're going to be sideways to down for about 4 or 5 days. And the so far today, the day isn't quite finished yet. It's only about 2:30 in the afternoon. We're probably going to make a bear reversal today in the daily momentum. That itself would indicate another 3 or 4 days sideways to down. So the correction is probably not yet complete. We've probably got, let's just minimize it and say we've probably got at least 2 to 3 days sideways to down before a corrective decline is complete. So that helps us to say, for instance, we're at the 62% retracement. We don't want to go long yet because more than likely we got another 2 to 3 days sideways to down before this correction is completed. What happens if the euro trades below the April 26 low before we make a daily momentum bull reversal? That would indicate that the corrective low is complete. Well, we'd still probably make a daily low. It's just that it wouldn't have as much upside potential based on the pattern at least. So here's what I'm looking at next week and what you ought to have on your radar. Very similar to a couple markets we've looked at, bonds and notes and others we've looked at during this week, is next week if we make a daily momentum bull reversal with price above the April 26 low, that will be an ideal setup to continue a bull trend probably for several weeks. That's what I'm looking at, and more than likely the maximum downside is not too far below where we are at so far today, at least today's low so far. But that bullish reversal has to be made with price above the April 26 low to be that ideal bullish setup to identify the end of a correction, continuation of the bull trend. That's it for today. See you tomorrow with another 3-minute update and trade strategy.